Hey y'all, it's Todd. Just wanted to give you a little demo of my Anointed Artist Helix preset for the floor, the rack, and the LT. This is for the AC30 top boost in stereo. There's a mono version and a version set up for you to put in your own IRs. I don't want to spend too much time on those, but I wanted to give you a little stereo run through. I am using my Reverend Tricky Gomez 2018 limited edition in the green, two-tone green. It's number 1 out of 10, so it's kind of special. It is one of the most praised and worshipy guitars you will ever find, although it is a lot like a Gretsch too. That's my bass tone right there. Clean, we might call it, although it's just a little gritty, but barely. I wouldn't even call it edge of breakup. I'm going to run through the effects in the order of everything in the chain, and then I'll go through the snapshots for you. So starting off right here, you'll see that we have the input gate on. I turn it on all the time because I play a lot of places where there's noise and or a lot of single coils. You can turn it off if you don't like it. Next is the Deluxe Comp. That's my comp 90% of the time. It's always on, however, I do run these parameters right here in white to foot switch 1. So if you have the LT, you're going to be missing foot switch 1 and foot switch 7. So that's the more comp, I call it, and the dimension chorus. But those are run to a couple of snapshots, and of course you can always change what the stomps are. So, but when you hit the more comp foot switch, you get just that, more compression. So here it is off. Here it is on. It's more of a feel thing. You can kind of feel it snap and pop a little bit more. It's, again, not really pumping and squeezing the way that like a Dynacop or something like that might do, but it still gives you more compression, especially if you're playing with single coils. So just one of my little tricks. Got the compressor always on, we might as well do something else with it if we can. Next in line, we have a couple of overdrives. We got the Timmy, set pretty low in gain. Just some nice breakup, a little sweetness, whatever you want to call it. It is the Timmy. Next, we have the Klon, and I love the Klon. And y'all notice I use the real names of pedals and effects and stuff instead of line 6 names. They call it the Minotaur. I actually labeled it Man Horse on this preset. It's got a nice crunch. I love that kind of mid-range. It's almost kind of honky a little bit. That's in the middle position. That's the neck here. Bridge. And if you hit it hard, it'll bark on the bridge. If you caress it, it sweetens up nicely. Like it better than a Tube Screamer. Next we have the SX30, the amp that this is all made out of. That's the AC30 with top boost. After that, everything goes stereo, and here is the stereo double tank reverb for just a little bit of always on reverb. That's with it on. Here's with it off. Totally dry. Can't stand that with earbuds. Just a little surround atmosphere. Next we have the tremolo, and I love putting the tremolo on expression pedal 1 with the toe switch, turning it on. So no matter what snapshot I'm in, no matter what I have on the stomps, I can hit the toe switch, and there's my stereo tremolo. And then on top of that, I take the speed and intensity and put it on expression pedal 1. So as I move down, faster, more intense, pull back, slower, and less intense. You can even do stuff like change between 2 different waveforms if you want to. Use expression 1. I rarely ever use wah. I just wasn't using expression 1 that much. I figured I might as well figure out something I can do with it. Put it to good use. Next up, we have the dual speakers in stereo. And nothing surprising here, the silver bell, the blue bell. On the silver bell, I have the 160 ribbon. On the blue bell, I have the Shure 57. I added some early reflections, but nothing too weird about that. After that, I have the stereo phase 90. Set slow, half note actually. Coming down the second row, dimension chorus, foot switch 7. I like both the 70s chorus and the dimension chorus. I just happened to choose the dimension for this one. It's just a really sweet, lush sound. Got the volume pedal next. I don't know why I put it there. I don't remember. It is in stereo. A lot of times I put the volume pedal after the overdrives and right before the amp. For whatever reason, I stuck it here. I don't remember why. I don't think I'm out of DSP on the top, but I could be. If you don't have enough DSP for a volume pedal, you know you've used your DSP up. Parametric EQ. I won't go too much into this. I can talk a long time about parametric EQ. I'm not actually using the 3 bands here. I'm just using the low cuts and the high cuts, as you see right here. I did set the frequencies to some frequencies that I like. 345, that's a great place to cut out some mud, but bringing it down 1, 2, 3 dBs, especially on an amp like a matchstick. The matchless amps are big and thick, kind of heavy on the low mids. I got the mid set at 775. That's a great place, like a tube screamer, to boost it if you want to jump out in the mix. Any of these you can run to a foot switch, by the way, if you open up a foot switch in stomp mode. Of course, you can use it in snaps too. The high frequency I set to 2.1. A lot of times if you have some harshness, that's a great place, 2000, 2.1, 2.2 kilohertz to cut out some of the harshness rather than just bringing down the whole thing from the high cuts down here. Some people just cut these things way down. There's times I do for an effect, I'll bring that down to 5,000 or so to really kind of narrow and focus it. But these 3 bands here are very useful. Experiment with them, add 2, 3, 4 decibels here and there, take them out and see what happens. Next, I got an always on LA Studio Comp, just for fun. I do bring down the mix so it's not so squishy. First delay is the Mod Chorus Echo, one of my favorites. Set to quarter notes. Not real high in the mix, not real long in the feedback. After that, we have tape echo. I love the tape echo. It's in almost every preset. Here I got it set to dotted eighths. The tempo's 82, by the way, so it's not real fast. Also got it crunching up a little bit because I've lowered the headroom just a little bit, and it's crunching up pretty nicely, kind of ugly in a pretty way. Next, the most praise and worshipy delay in all the Line 6 delays, the dual delay, with a little vibrato, a little higher mix and a little higher feedback. Eighth notes, dotted eighth notes. useful. I like to run reverbs in parallel. So if I have this lower path, this second path at the end, I like to run parallel reverbs. Ganymede is one of my favorite. I've got it on foot switch 11. It is a lot like the New Neighbor Wet in my opinion. It's also very easy to dial in. It's pretty simple. It's a lot more straightforward than some of the reverbs. I've got fairly long decay. Mix is not real high. It's at 35%, but it's only half the signal, so it's half of that. Mixing that with Particle Verb from the Legacy Effects, one of my favorite reverbs from the Legacy stuff. I actually like most of the Legacy reverbs. I didn't use all of them, but there were 3 or 4 I used all the time. Didn't really have a problem with. You can't control that fade in, that pre-delay. It's real long, but it's such a smooth and to me beautiful kind of pad, almost synth-like. And you'll see in some of my presets as I put them out that I do some pretty cool stuff with that. And here's one trick. Put a delay in front of it and put it into self-oscillation or runaway feedback. This is the analog with mod, my favorite Legacy delay. It's a beautiful, easy to use delay. I've got it set to 1/16 notes. And at about 72 to 75%, it'll run away pretty well, but it doesn't get overbearing. It doesn't really freak out and get to be where it's an ear piercer. Mix that with the reverb, get something like this. If you don't like it, you can always turn it off. I think it adds a little something cool to the delay. And that's our effects order, so let's go to Snapshot Mode now. And here's our clean first snapshot, number 1. Here it is. I actually have the quarter note delay on it. And I turned it off to that little first section. Middle position. Excuse me. Neck. Bridge. Bridge, it gets a little dirty. It's not pristine. This Reverend, I can back out the bass. I have a bass contour knob. It's kind of like a opposite of a tone knob. So in the middle position you get compared to that. So with the bass rolled off, the neck with the bass rolled off. So you can see, like with single coils, it does clean up real nice. Here's even the bridge. Bring the bass back up. Let's go to number 2, drive number 1. It's the Timmy. Also changed it to 8th note delay. Number 3 is drive 2, and that is McClon. Great drive, lots of drive. Number 4 is exactly what it says, big or lead. Could be both, could be either or. Middle position. Added the Ganymede and the dual delay now, both overdrives. I've also added right here in the EQ a little boost of 2.8 decibels that's on foot switch 5. So anytime you just want to be louder, just more, that's built in. Foot switch 5 in stomp mode. It's also used in the big and lead here. Snapshot 5, clean chorus. Dimension chorus, quarter note delay. I also like the way it responds really well to your picking. I was picking kind of light at first, and then you dig in with the Ganymede and it kind of blooms up. Number 6, Phasey Verb, phaser and Ganymede, 8th note delay. The 7th, edgy delay, just what you think it is. Got the more comp on, got the dual delay on, don't have any extra reverb, just the double tank. It's just the Timmy, doesn't have the Klon on, so it doesn't have as much overdrive as big and lead, doesn't have that big reverb on it. So you can do some cool stuff with it. And lastly, number 8, the Ambient. Put this on the neck. Some people call it swells. Kind of hard to do swells when your Helix is on your desk. I do have an EBO. It's great with EBO. Neck pickup. Gotta have the volume down. So there you have it. Appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the preset. Thanks and God bless.